What are transitions, and what do they mean?
What do they mean? Transitions are inevitable in people's lives, I think. You can't escape transitions. As the Buddha says, everything is impermanent. There are major transitions in our lives, like childhood. Childhood will end inevitably. Some people try to cling to it like Peter Pan, that never growing up, but our biology says your childhood would end. Then we become adolescents and we party and we do all that, but we can see adulthood on the horizon, but we know that that's going to end. Whether we like it or not, kicking and screaming, we're going to become adults. Some people become adolescent-y kind of adults, but there are these phases that our biology forces us into. There are other phases of life where things change, relationships change, work change. I've changed career 3 times. I'm on my 3rd or 4th career now, and when I went into work, I believed this is a job for life. My parents were of that mentality, job for life, and also they were of that sort of mentality of partner for life. When you marry, you stay with them for life. I broke. I divorced my wife after 15 years. I ended my career after 10 years thinking, can I do this? It was a scary jump. I did it. So now I've made a number of transitions from divorce, 3 career changes, other areas of life. There's been deaths of various people around. And what I've learned is that these transitions are something either I ride with or something I resist and fight. To the degree that I resist them or deny them or try to avoid them is the degree that I suffer, is what I found. And the degree that I accept them and ride with them and flow with them and go, this hurts, I don't like it, but I'm going to enter into it, the easier it's become. And I've noticed, so with career change, I went from banking to local government to director of alternatives to opening my coaching business and working on the internet and being an author. And each change was, I knew that a part of me was finished. I was in the bank. I was a banker for 10 years and had a little bit of an identity of that. And when that finished, a part of me was dead, and I celebrated that death. I didn't want to be a banker, absolutely. So some endings I celebrated and was able to move into this new phase quite quickly. But there was a period of adjustment that it took me in each new job about 1.5 years to really go, I'm settled here. That adjusting phase, I think we're calling this the wilderness zone in our workshop. There's beginnings, wilderness zone, where there's new things, it's a bit chaotic, uncertain, and really entering the new beginning properly. So a transition is an ending, this wilderness zone, and eventually really stepping into this new beginning. Another example, I changed my name legally 8 years ago. And I felt that I'd been 30-something years my old name. And when I changed my name legally, I signed the papers and the solicitor did all the bits and I did everything. But it took me 2 years to really answer to that new name. I really felt it in my bones, And I'd still get letters in my old name and I'd still go, oh, that's me. And now when I see the old name, I think that's no longer me. So there's an identity thing around transition. We identify with bits of our lives and sometimes cling on to them. But it's really, as the Buddha said, clinging is the source of suffering. So change is inevitable. It's how you deal with change. Being in this period of chaos or wilderness zone is inevitable. It's how you deal with it. And a lot of people do not know how to navigate these areas. And one of the things we're doing on this workshop, we're putting together Powerful Transitions, is what do you do when you're in this powerful zone? When it's confusing, it's uncertain. You may have lots of resistance. And when I've entered this transition place, all my mind has started to go crazy. My thoughts have been, I'm going to die, I'm going to be homeless. All those worst case scenarios come up. Being homeless was mine. And I remember going to Hampstead Heath Common and finding the spot where I would sleep. and find, well, this would be quite nice, or how would I survive homeless on the streets? I really started to plan it out because I really thought that was going to happen. It never happened, of course. But in those transition places, the worst case scenario will come up full force, And if it's not in your mind, your partner will reflect it, or close loved ones. Your parents will phone you up and say, you're heading for absolute disaster. And we both know this one. We've got partners who've done that, and friends and family who have done that. So in this place, there can be lots of strange reflections. It's uncertain, and it's a time of courage, really. For finding your real resourcefulness, because any place of testing will bring out what's really inside of you, and you won't know unless you're in that place of testing. The other thing about which I got from NLP really is that a definition of madness is doing the same thing over and over and over again, the same pattern, no change and expecting a different result. When you're in a period of change and transition, your pattern is broken. Your natural way of doing things is gone, and you're on uncertain territory. You don't know, if I do this, then this result will happen. You've got no idea. And so it's testing out new things and trying new things and forming new resources, really. New courage, new confidence. If you'd have met me 20 years ago, you would not have recognised me. I was a different person, a different set of resources, different level of confidence. And maybe I wouldn't have recognised you.
I had hair.
You had hair, yeah.
But on this this whole subject, this notion of uncertainty, and both of us have talked about this wilderness zone. So something ends, and then we enter into that zone of uncertainty, emptiness. One of the things I want to talk to you about is something that's come up for me, certainly in the coaching work that I do with people, and is this notion of disenchantment. Disenchantment. And do you feel that there's something in this process where disenchantment, this whole thing of one feeling the spell of one's old character, the old person that one used to be, all the things that used to work for people suddenly don't work. Do you feel that disenchantment is a crucial part of this process, or is it something that's just really uncomfortable and we want to get away? We don't need it.
It's not the same for everyone, change, but for some people, disenchantment is a very important part of the process. That there's something, a relationship, say, that they get really enchanted, spellbound by, in love, deep, and that relationship may last years, and then suddenly it stops being exciting. You keep trying, and you go to counselling, but it just doesn't gel together, and there are reasons why that can happen. Maybe from a spiritual point of view, your soul paths just don't work anymore. You're going different ways. There's all kinds of thinking about this. But no matter how hard you push, and I've tried this, in a, say, relationship, and it worked. I push and try to make it work, but inside, the enchantment, the joy of it, the passion for it, the love of it has gone. And the thought is, but I should still love this. And until you accept, but I don't love this anymore, the magic's gone. It's over. It may have been fantastic for a period of time. Recognising the enchantment has gone is valuable. You may need to grieve it. It was fantastic. It's not anymore. And then really let it go. And a lot of people cling to things, So letting go of something that was fantastic can be hard, but it's essential. And I've known this in my life. A career, one particular job I'm thinking of, I loved for years, and then suddenly it stopped working, and I tried it, and then the reflections start coming back. I'm pushing the boat. I'm not flowing with the river anymore, and I'm trying hard. It should work. Why is it not working? And there's all kinds of things that come up for people, and maybe sometimes you need help to get through that, just to let it go. And disenchantment is a fantastic part of the process of change.